Welcome back to Kipco Family Homestead, and I'm so happy that you're here. I took a small break for 2 weeks, but I'm glad to be back and glad to be back into the rhythm of making weekly videos. Thank you so much for joining me today as I take you around my home and show you some scenes of how I do homemaking, some of my daily homemaking rhythms, and I'll take you along as we run some errands and just show you a little glimpse into our daily life. We've had a few changes in our home over the past couple of months. So my husband is no longer working remotely for where we're from, Seattle. So he is now working locally, and now he works out in the field. So before he leaves to work this morning, I made sure to have breakfast nice and early because it is our daughter's birthday. Today, our oldest daughter turns 14 years old, and so her wish was to have breakfast all together as a family before Daddy leaves to work. So I'm up right now making a delicious birthday breakfast for our daughter. So for breakfast, I am serving some sourdough crepes and scrambled eggs with cheese. I knew that the morning would be early and I would have to get breakfast on the table pretty quickly. So I made sure to make my sourdough crepe batter last night. I mixed it and covered it and placed it into the refrigerator, and then took it out about 30 minutes before I had to actually start breakfast while I was doing other things to prep. And you can totally do that and have perfect crepe batter. You can definitely prep the night before if you're having guests or you need to get breakfast on the table quickly like I had to today. Just go ahead, prep that batter, set it in the refrigerator, and just make sure to take it out just a little bit. I would say 10 to 15 minutes before you actually need to start making the crepes.
Or when she wakes up.
That has the biggest balloon just for her. Please listen.
And of course, because it is a special morning, I am topping the crepes with chocolate and fresh berries, and I'm also adding some bananas. So it's a very filling and sweet breakfast. So we ran out of feed this morning, and so where are we going?
Tractor Supply! After grabbing the feed, we're just headed into the garden center. In the garden center, my goal is to find some flowers that are deer resistant and can bloom through all of fall. I've been really having trouble with the deer this year more than ever, and I believe that has to do with all the forest that got removed around our neighborhood. So my husband and I are planning and thinking about putting up some sort of gate around the garden this fall. So after Tractor Supply, we made a quick stop at home to feed the chickens. Since we were out of feed this morning, we fed them and then headed over to Dollar Tree to get some fall decor for the schoolroom and for the kids' bedrooms, and also to grab a few supplies for school. There are certain things that I will not buy at the Dollar Tree because they are low quality and they'll break quickly, but there are things like notebooks and a few other supplies that I'm okay with buying at the Dollar Tree for our schoolroom. Today as a snack, Sabrina made some vanilla cupcakes with homemade whipped cream. She has just been getting really good at baking, and her cupcakes taste amazing. I can never eat cupcakes from the store ever again after trying Sabrina's cupcakes. So the whole household has been in kind of like this fall mode. We are feeling the rainier weather, and there's just this anticipation of autumn, and we all just love Thanksgiving and fall decor and all the cozy things. So Sabrina had a great idea to add some pumpkin spice onto the cupcakes, and it tasted great. Now I'm just doing a quick cleanup of the dining room. About once a week, I will actually mop the dining room just to get all those splatters and sticky stuff off the floor. But almost every day, I just do a quick run through of just vacuuming the dining room floor, because it's mainly just dry things like kids dropping crumbs and things like that, and I just really do not enjoy walking on crumbs, and I don't think anybody else in the family does. So just upkeeping once a day in the dining room, the cleanliness, it just helps me not to get overwhelmed with just an extremely dirty house at the end of the week. So I just do a quick run through, vacuum up all the crumbs in the dining room, and this just really helps me to keep the home looking nice and cozy and clean. For the summertime, I also love to have a tablecloth out, and I try to make it last the full week, but sometimes it just gets really dirty from the younger kids with splatters and stains, so I try to get that switched out as soon as it just gets too dirty. So I try to keep the dining room looking fresh with clean floors and fresh tablecloths as much as I can. Next up on my list today was to remove all the couch pillows and clean out all the crumbs. So my YouTube channel has been around for just a little bit over a year, and I've really been enjoying putting out content and hopefully inspiring and encouraging some of you. But if I'm honest, I will admit that sometimes it has its ups and it has its downs. I truly love putting out and sharing my recipes and just showing you around my home, encouraging you to love your husbands, your children, and your household, loving on your home with your hands, blessing your family through decorating and creating a cozy environment. And I absolutely love doing all of that. But at times it can get discouraging, especially if the engagement isn't as high as you would have liked, or the algorithm isn't seeming to notice you. So I just decided to take a couple weeks off just to rest and take a break. And honestly, if even a handful of you watch my videos, listen to what I have to say, and get any kind of encouragement or inspiration from me, that's enough for me. So thank you for those who follow along and watch my full videos. And if you're able to glean anything at all from my videos, I'm very grateful to be here for your inspiration, your motivation, your encouragement. Because initially that is what I felt like the Lord called me to do when I had the feeling that I have a calling to start a YouTube channel. It was to spread the light and the love of the gospel, to spread the love of homemaking, and demonstrating what a peaceful, cozy, godly home looks like. And that's what I'm here for. In a world where we're all so connected to the internet, and there's a constant flow of information and opinions and all those things that we get just by having smartphones just a fingertip away, it can have its good things, but it definitely has a lot of bad to it as well. So I think in our generation, we're probably the first ones to experience that level of comparison where you're fully content with yourself and then you see something on social media and it's so easy to just start comparing and feeling bad about yourself. And so I think it's especially important in today's day and age to be alert and to be very careful about the things that you look at, the things you expose yourself to, even if it's seemingly nothing bad. If it's something that causes you to compare or doubt yourself or feel bad about yourself, then it's definitely something that needs to be removed. Because as the saying goes, comparison is the thief of joy. Or another one that I really love is the fastest way to kill something special is to compare it. Especially for those of us that are believers, I think that's especially important because the Bible instructs us to be fully content and filled with joy at all times, no matter what season, no matter what situation, no matter what you're going through. But us living in so much modern day comforts, it's easy to just get numb and just lukewarm, and you have everything you could absolutely want and yet be unhappy because you compare yourself to someone who has more or better than you. And for me, I often have to remind myself not to look around and not to compare myself or my channel or my growth with anybody else, because we're all growing at different paces. We all have our own walks in life and we all have our own path that the Lord is leading us in. And I choose to just have contentment and joy in wherever God is leading me and whatever He chooses to bless me with.
Following along for quite a while, maybe you remember a video I shared last year where I painted our schoolroom green. I actually only painted half of it green. I kept one half white and one half was green because I just wanted to see how I would feel about the green, if I would even like it. And basically I liked it so much that I want to finish painting the entire schoolroom that sage green color. And I also want to add some texture. So I'm thinking to add some beadboard here, but we're gonna start with one wall and see how I feel about it. But I definitely decided that I want the whole schoolroom green for sure. When we became homeowners about 9 years ago, I was just kind of finding my style, figuring out what I like. And so each home that we've owned, I kind of did like a gray or a beige or a white, just like kind of bland colors, because I still was kind of discovering my style. And by this point in my life, I've kind of developed my own style. I would call it like a English countryside cottage Peter Rabbit type of feel. So that's kind of what I'm trying to transform our home into. I want to add more color, more wood accents, and I have plans to kind of renovate each room in the home, but I'm starting with the schoolroom and I'm really excited about it.
Today we're having an early dinner and what I'm serving is some leftover lasagna. So usually when I make lasagna, I like to prep it in bulk. So I'll make about 2 large glass pans and I will either freeze one or we eat them pretty fast. So today I am just reheating it in a cast iron pan, which by the way, this is it's an enameled cast iron pan from Costco, and I have been loving it so much. It's a lot better than the just plain cast iron. It doesn't give the food that irony taste that I
don't appreciate that much. So I've been loving the enameled cast iron pan, and that's supposed to be just as good for your health as just a plain cast iron pan without the enamel. If you've watched a couple of my previous videos, you will have known that my parents had come over from Seattle to stay with us for a couple of weeks. And of course, when my mom is here, she just loads up my freezer and my fridge with foods and just meals that are already prepped. I just have to defrost them. And one of the things that she always leaves me with is a fridge full of sauerkraut. And sauerkraut has been on repeat around here. My husband and I, and some of the kids absolutely love it. And it's really great for your health. So I've been serving sauerkraut a lot. And for some reason, I'm just loving the taste of lasagna with sauerkraut on the side. I don't know if that's weird or if you guys would like that too. But for me personally, my husband also, we absolutely love lasagna and sauerkraut, so give it a try and maybe you'll enjoy it too. Plus, sauerkraut is very, very high in probiotics, so it's a great way to enjoy it and get some health benefits at the same time. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. It's been a pleasure taking you along on my day.